Okay, YouTubers, it is about 11:30 at night. I just got home from work a little while ago, and I am going to refer you to my disclaimer video right now. Because on my way home, just right down the road from me, there was a deer laying along the road. So I hopped on the four-wheeler and I went and picked me up a roadkill. It's a young one, probably this year's. I don't know how much damage there is to it yet. I don't even know if it's a buck or a doe. Doesn't really matter. Let's take a look. It's a buck. Yep, right there's the buttons. Right there's a little button buck. So we got us a little button buck. And I said I was gonna try to show you how I take care of a deer and skin it. So let me get set up, and right here's where we do it. I've got a hook there, a drain there, and another hook there. Okay, here's where I'm at right now. This little fella, I couldn't hardly get his legs far enough apart to get the gambrel thing on there in his legs. This is one I made because the ones you buy, they just aren't strong enough for the way I do this. And I bought this swivel thing so you can swivel it around and it won't twist your cable. You can spin him around. But I'm going to show you something right now. Out of all my hunting knives, and I've got a bunch of hunting knives, just like this buck right here I used with the gut hook on it to get that started. I found the easiest way to go the next step is with a hook blade utility knife. Just hook it on, and there you go. You can even, I have a feeling this is going to get messy. And I have right over here what I call my gut bucket. And I'll show you something else. We're going to get the gut bucket underneath him. He has been busted up a little bit. But if nothing else, we'll get some back straps. Oh shoot. With this utility knife you can cut down like this. I don't think you can see me now, but you can cut him all the way down. Which one do I got to loosen here? And not enter the cavity. There, he's cut clear down to here. The next step is where I go back to my drop point buck, is to get the skin started just a little bit so I have something to get hold of. I've skinned quite a few deer, but I don't understand how people can skin a deer and cut so many holes in a hide and just tear it up. It's not that hard to do it without tearing the heck out of stuff. Yeah, he got hit right here on this hind quarter. It hadn't been very long ago because he's still warm and it's kind of cool outside. Get this tail in the right spot, you can cut right through it. There we go. Okay, let me shut the camera off a minute and we'll get set up for the next step. Okay, this deer was broadsided right here. I don't think I'm going to be able to use any of this hind quarter on its left side. Nothing in here. Probably not the front shoulder. You can see this is all busted up. This deer got hammered. I might be able to get some meat off of this hind quarter here, and I'm going to get the back straps. And I was going to show you how I used the hooks in the floor to skin it, but it's just peeling right off. Unfortunately, most of this deer is going to end up down there in that gut bucket, which I think is a shame and a waste. I don't know what these anti-hunters are going to think if they get their way and we can't hunt deer. Because if you think about it, the number of deer that we take every year as hunters would be still out there multiplying. In 2 years we'd be up to our ears in deer, and you couldn't drive anywhere at night. Because no, they're not going to learn to cross the road safely. And if you hadn't noticed, it was a mess. I put on some gloves. I think the back straps will be okay. I'm going to try to take the hide. I know Peter Molman, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, wanted to see how you make rawhide, and I would like to give it a try. I've never done it. In fact, I'd like to make buckskin, which is even more processing. But let me get back to business here. I might hook up that hoist after all. The way I look at a roadkill, it is not doing anybody any good if you just leave it lay. And more than likely, the next thing is going to be you're going to start hitting coon and possums that are there eating the deer. So by bringing it home and doing this, I'm saving the lives of coon and possum and skunks and whatever else. I've even seen buzzards get hit when they try to fly up and away from something like this when a car goes by. Okay, I broke down and stuck a golf ball in there, and I ran my cable around on the inside of the golf ball, so I got the hide trapped. And then I hook it on one of those eye bolts, and then I got the other one hooked over there, going up. I got tired of pulling. It's getting late. It's only been a half hour. Usually it's a little quicker than this, but see if I got it in the right spot here. Took one of my gloves off. Let me go get one back on. Tried to get you in here a little closer so you could see what I was doing. Right here's the skin. Right here's where you want to that's separating that meat and sinew or whatever. Same thing on the legs. Once you pass him to the floor, you can't spin them around anymore. And that's a hoist up there that'll pick up like 1,250 pounds. A friend of mine, we were skinning one of his deer on this. It was a buck, small buck, and he wanted to go just a little farther on the neck, and we raised it up just a little bit farther, and it just cracked the skull and broke the antlers. Well, it didn't break the antlers, it broke the skull. You can see here. There's jugular veins in right there and right there. You don't want to cut that or you'll just start draining blood all over the place. And I think we're at the knee. Yeah, right here's the knee. So I think I'm going to cut the hide off right here. And you could skin the whole face off if you wanted the whole face and nose and eyelashes and everything of the deer hide. I'm not going to do that. I don't particularly need that. So basically I gave you an idea on how you would skin a deer, doing it by hand. That's how I got started it. And then I went to the power method. Now I'm not going to drop that down in all that blood and stuff. I'm going to admit that this is a bit messy. But you can see right there's where the back straps are. Let me go ahead and shut this off and take care of a little bit more off camera. I don't want this to be too long. Okay. I'll be honest with you, in a real SHTF situation, you could probably salvage a lot of meat off of here. But I'm just going to take the best stuff because it's pretty well boogered up. Right there you can see the shoulder blade. The front shoulder is not attached by anything other than muscle. So if you just follow the muscle around and the shoulder blade, it will come right off. Right there, the front shoulder. That doesn't look like it's hurt. I'll put it over here. This one here's, let's take a look at it. See, it's pretty bruised up. You could probably use this meat here. There's really hardly any meat. Even on a full-grown deer, there's hardly any meat up in here on the front leg. There is some meat here, but it's really not much. I usually grind it up in hamburger. I'll set this over here and maybe trim it up. Now the back straps. They are right here. There's one on each side of this center line. It's been a while since I've done this. And right here is where the hind quarter would be. And I always would cut in like that. And then try to stay as close to that bone as you can. Just like you're filleting a fish, really. Some people say you can just yank them out of there. I have managed to do it after I get it started. And this all here is sinew, and you'll want to get that cut off. All this fat, and then there's sinew underneath it, that silver stuff. Because if you leave that on there, you won't be able to chew it. That right there. That's got to come off. But you're looking at some of the best meat on this deer right there. Let's see if I can pull it out of there. Not yet, it's still. I don't want to lose any of it. Now that I've gone this far, I will mention that I'm not a pro. I've learned by doing, and right now I'm doing wrong. I'm gonna cut that out of there. He's just too tender. Right there's a pretty big chunk of meat. See if I can do the other side a little nicer. I don't know, this is the side that's pretty well boogered up. If I do get one hunting this year, I want to try to save the liver and the heart. A friend of mine makes jerky out of the heart. He said it's the best piece of meat to make jerky out of. He really likes it. I like liver and onions. I've never had deer liver and onions. Cut that off. few years ago I saved the ribs and did them just like baby back ribs on the grill. Man, they were good. I kind of had high hopes for this one, but I don't think I'm gonna get any ribs. This is the fat that's pulling off right now. And that's the silver skin, or sinew. And you will chew until your jaws wore out. So you gotta peel that off of there. I think I'm done with the to tell you the truth, right there, that bone's all busted up. So is this one. That's busted right there and dislocated. See that? I don't think we got any good meat here. I mean, you could cut it off and save it, but I'm not that hungry right now. And I still have 2 deer tags. So, hate to say it, but that's going in the gut bucket. Better safe than sorry. Got a little meat off this deer, off this little deer. Let me get this taken care of, and then I'll show you the meat. Okay, there's the ceiling. I slide that board out of the way. I have styrofoam sitting on top of it to help insulate. But during the winter, if I'm running a trap line, I'll run my cable from the hoist down through that center hole and the control down through the one in the corner, and I can keep it a little warmer in here. And the guys who poured my floor missed for the low spot. You can see where it's puddled, not down the drain. But I did wash the floor up a little bit tonight, and it also fills that hole up. So I'll have to let that drain. I drilled a hole in it a long time ago. It's probably plugged. I'll have to clean it out. Let's go look at what we got. Not a whole lot of meat, but I wanted to make some chili with venison meat in it. And using it that way, this meat will go a long ways. And then can it. And I have made basically vegetable soup with venison, and it was awesome. So, and I got the hide stretched out over here on the floor. I will roll that up and probably freeze it, and then on a weekend I'll get it out and make a frame and stretch it out and clean the fat and meat off of this side of it. Then you have to let it dry and then scrape the hair off the other side with a sharp scraper. I've never done it before, but we're going to give it a shot. Let me get this wrapped up in my freezer paper and in the fridge for the night. It is now close to about 10 till 1. What is that? An hour and a half for that little bit of meat. But years ago I decided I was going to start processing my own. So I got this big roll of freezer paper, and I got the freezer tape, and I got my meat grinder. I don't know if I've shown that to you. I got it, I keep it wrapped up. It's motorized. It's a big one. I made that table for it. Well, let me get this finished up and put away. Thanks for watching.